What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the Intolerable Podcast. My name is Will.
That stays.
Oh no!
That's the intro.
Oh, I've cried.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Dexter.
And I'm Will. Oh,
Uh,
fuck me. It's always me that happens to me. My sides are fucking hurting now. Oh.
What
Alright.
did you do there?
Well, that's kicked off the Intolerable
You turned into
Podcast
an
to a
old man as
brilliant...
well.
I did as well. Oh, fuck me. I just turned into Post Malone for like half a second. Brilliant. Well, that kicks it off in a great light. Not scripted at all, just complete fucking randomness.
Yeah, shit show from the off.
Perfect.
Well, it couldn't go any smoother, but we're the Intolerable Podcast, and we're going to just talk about random stuff. This is our first episode, so don't expect us to be too fluent. We're kind of just messing around with it.
Yeah, we're just rolling with it.
So, yeah, to be honest, clearly just example number one there.
Yeah.
That was just the
Just
first intro.
absolute
Fucked it. That's
Fuck
it.
up, yeah.
If you set the bar low from the off, you
We
can
set
do
the
it.
bar low,
We can only get better.
It's pretty much what I did with this year, to be fair, so far.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, had a very rough New Year's, but it's been going well.
Oh, I can validate
Last
that.
week's
So.
been good. Last week's been great. Exercised every day this week.
Oh,
Been on point.
I respect that.
Did boxercise with my sister. She's been a beast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Didn't expect it. Girl was nailing the heavy bag.
damn. Someone you don't want to pick a fight with.
Mm.
I mean, but yeah. So, any New Year's resolutions, boys?
Just be a bit more.
Take that as a no.
Just be a bit more productive, I suppose. I feel myself like what's the word for it? Just lounging around quite a lot. Like whenever I'm not working, I have a day off. Like today, I didn't
Yeah.
really do that much, except
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. Oh, my sleep schedule's just gone to absolute shite. Like I used to like go to bed really late and wake up really late because I don't really have work in the morning anymore.
Yeah, to be fair, you work late, so it kind of skews.
Yeah,
it.
like I start at 4 most days and end at 10 most days. So I usually get up late, go to work, then go home and just chill out until whenever I feel tired and go to bed. Like for example, last night I went to bed at like 2 or 3 and then woke up this morning about
Not
1:30. I know it's not great, but it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really annoyed at myself
I
for
find
slipping
that
back
as
into
well.
it.
What's that, Dexter?
I find that as well, like a messed up sleep schedule, but that's partly because, like, I don't know, there's just something with me where, like, I don't know what it is, but I seem to be more productive when it gets really late. Like, it'll get to, like, 1 in the morning, and I'll just be like, I'm just going to go do some work.
I kind of relate to that.
I
I
get
don't know
that.
what it
Yeah,
is,
I get
but
that.
like, I just, I might even be like, because I'm pretty on top of all my uni work, but I'll still just be like, I'll just do some uni work at like 1 in the morning. For whatever reason, I just like.
I kind of relate in the sense that, you know, when you're in bed and you always have those like really good ideas and then you either forget about them or never kind of expand on
come
them
to
at
fruition.
all. Yeah, I could feel like, I don't know if you have them at that time or if you just have them in bed whatever time you go to bed, but you know, like I could kind of relate in the sense that, you know, you get weird ideas when you're just chilling around doing nothing.
I think another factor to that is the fact that you're bored of everything else. Like,
Yeah,
you hit
I
the end
agree,
of the
yeah.
day, you're like, you've kind of
Yeah.
done everything else. And it's like, all right, no excuses really, just crack on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely
there's-
agree.
Yeah. There's only so much stuff I can do in this relatively small room.
It's like, for example, at work when it's so boring and there's nothing to do, you actually look for stuff to do. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
well, it helps time go, doesn't it?
yeah, like when I'm standing around on the front, like I quite like it when it's not too busy and I can just serve customers like as they come and just, you know, chill out. But when there is no customers, you're kind of, well, not expected, but you end up just finding stuff to do because then you'll just get bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And another thing with one of the reasons you get ideas when you are in bed is because once you start to relax to try and go to sleep, you're emptying your mind. So, if you're sat playing PlayStation or doing whatever,
You're
for example,
preoccupied, yeah.
your mind is focused on that. When you're not actually focusing on anything, then you can come up with ideas.
You also come up with just some weird stuff, though.
Oh yeah, you always think of the weirdest stuff before you go to bed.
So weird.
Like, why is it all the negative memories that come up before bed? I don't know, like, why that is. Just lets your mind wander. Like, you're trying to go to bed and you're just like, I don't need this. I don't need to remember the time that I just cringed out in front of
I don't need to. Sorry, I was about to say I don't need to remember singing JLS in front of my whole school.
Yeah, there we go. I was trying to find something. I was trying to find something, but it just couldn't pop into my head. But that has been shoved in there very nicely. Thank you so much.
Which JLS song was it?
Oh,
I can't remember, actually.
it was the Clovers. Disgusting. Oh yeah, like thing is,
I was in that talent show as well.
oh how you were doing like a comedic. Again,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the same quotation marks as you did to talent, but
Yeah.
it was actually
It was
no, Sean, I
hilarious.
was in that. I was in that actually.
Thank you very much.
I was in that. I made a guest
Comedy
appearance.
genius, I am.
I was a double
Yeah, you were.
act.
Did you? I can't remember what you did.
I remember
like-
I was like a Yeti or something like that. I distinctly remember that.
That was with.
It was you, Ollie, and
That was it.
Yeah,
You.
it doesn't surprise me that it's Ollie.
yeah.
He's always had a knack for that.
Thing is, like, I'm not gonna name names, but whoever sung "Beat Again," it's like that's a legitimate, like, kind of like ironic banger today. Like, if it comes on, it's like a bit of a throwback, and we can kind
Yeah.
of sing along to it, and it's not that cringy except for him probably.
Certain
But
person,
the one that
yeah.
I sung, who the fuck? Like,
was so
I
dead.
don't think anyone knows about it.
Yeah.
No one. Gives
And
a
it's
rat's
not even
ass
that.
about
It's like I listened to it the other day and I literally just cringed.
To give some context, how old were you when you did it?
I was in year
was
6,
year
so that
6.
would make me 11.
10, right? I thought it'd be
10,
later.
10
10 or 11, depending.
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I would have been 11 probably because I think it was in winter.
Because I think it was a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're born earlier.
So I was 11 years old. That was 8 years from now.
What a wonderful time, eh?
Mm.
Yeah.
Year 6 talent show.
Oh,
To be fair, I miss being that stupid.
yeah. Or just not having any
was-
responsibilities
Personally, I
at all.
don't, to be honest.
No, like sometimes, like I was entertained
Sometimes,
by like
sometimes, yeah, but
I could play tag for hours and be so
Yeah.
happy.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'd be bored if I played tag now.
yeah, when we would play, what did we play? We played like
Dub in.
Oh,
that. That was a classic.
Banging game. Killer Carrot, that was banging.
Killer Carrot,
was it
yeah, that
was
was
it
fun.
Sharks? I remember because there was
Sharks,
Sharks
yeah.
short and Sharks long. Oh,
Yes.
wait, what
Quality games.
sharks?
it's basically
It's
like
basically
kind of like tag bulldog,
kind of
basically.
bulldogs.
Yeah.
It's
We had a
kind
game
of
called
similar.
Sharky.
Is
but
that
very
similar
different.
then? Okay.
Nah, there was like this round sort of. It was like it's like a round table, but it's like bench height,
Yeah.
Right.
and you'd have people lying on it, and it's kind of got like it's wooden planks, so you can kind of stick your fingers in the grooves to like grip in,
Right.
and then someone would be the sharky pulling everyone off,
Oh.
and then like the last person to be pulled off by the sharks wins.
Mm.
It ended up getting banned because people kept getting hurt because they
Oh.
get dragged off the bench and land on the concrete. But
But our I don't even know what you'd call them, like the fucking, they weren't TAs, the lunch ladies, I guess.
I just
but,
we
like,
called them lunch ladies. Yeah.
it would be like, first of all, you had to go. If you wanted to go to the toilet, you had to go up to them, ask to go to the toilet, and they'd give you a little band thing so that you had permission to go to the toilet.
Fucking so stupid thinking about it.
Depending on what, it was up to them really, depending on what the weather was like. But sometimes you had to change into your PE kit if you wanted to go on the field.
Again, stupid.
Because apparently parents complained that children were getting their fucking shoes dirty. Like, come on.
Well, yeah, just yeah.
Oh,
like,
really?
Do you remember? And the weather was just completely
weather.
stupid. Like I remember once in winter they didn't let us go on the field because there's the playground and well, I'm not saying obviously because you weren't here, but there was a field and there was a like two playgrounds.
There were 2 playgrounds. There was one for year
3 and 5 and one for 4 and 6.
4 and 6.
And I just I remember that like one of the lunch ladies like said once that we couldn't go on the field in winter because usually it was usually a summer thing in fairness, but they said, oh, you're not allowed to go on the field because the ground is too hard.
So just go and play on the nice soft concrete.
Basically.
Yeah, no, we had that, but it was really regular.
It was just like, fair enough, we're pretty dumb at the time, but like, do you take us for fools?
Nah, because we had, well, your school was split up, wasn't it? It was like 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then reception 1 and 2, was it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Infant school was up to 2.
We just had reception through 6, like the whole school, and then there were 2 playgrounds. One was, I think it was 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the other was reception 1 and 2. But the field was shared by everyone. But it was so rare that you went on the field because if it was like the tiniest bit muddy, they'd be like, "Nah, it's muddy." And then the second it was actually dry, they'd be like, "Oh, it's too dry. You're gonna graze your legs." And it's like, well, if we actually go on and when like they let us on when it was snowing. That was cool.
Have you seen now that some schools, like I can't remember where it is, but there's one headmaster who is trying to ban his students from having snowball fights.
Why?
Like we only get snow like a couple days a year, maybe. Like
just chill out, basically.
Like
they, as we were like, I think it might have been our last year, but they started banning like leather footballs. You had to bring like a sponge or like inflatable, like a soft football.
In all fairness, have you ever been hit by a mitre football like in the face?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I completely forgot about that. I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, but
we had sponge footballs at our junior school, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
like the ones that they just had in the class. So if no
we
one
had both.
football, we had to have the sponge one.
Yeah,
and our goal, I don't know why we were like this, but we had one goal that was normal. Our group, at least, we had one goal that was normal, and then we had a bench and a tree that was our other goal.
Yeah, we would have that. We'd have a jumper goal. And then like a tree, and then like 2 trees as the other goal.
Goals, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sick.
If we didn't bring a football though, we didn't get football. Like you just said, you got given a softball. Have that.
Yeah.
My first year, because I joined in year 3 at camp. Yeah, it was first year. It might have been like the second time we were ever let on the field in my first year. We were playing with my football, and it went over the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to rat out who, but a friend of mine was like, "Oh, the secondary school kids that are nearby get let out earlier, and they walk through there, so they'll take your football," which was completely false because there wasn't a secondary school that close. But I didn't know because I'd only just I hadn't been there long. Plus, I didn't know what time they got let out, so I just trusted it. Yeah, so I jump over the school fence, get my football, and within my first year, I got sent to the head teacher's office.
Oh dear. We had it where, because we were obviously it's right next to Balcarras.
Yeah, basically.
And our goal, the tree and bench goal, was on, like, right by the fence, basically. So if somehow you managed to kick a football over when you're that young, because it's quite high for
just that shit, basically.
That age. Yeah, like you don't get that much height on it. But if somehow you managed to somehow scuff it and you chip it over, like you were so scared because you were like, oh, are they going to give it back, or are we just not going to have a football anymore?
Yeah, an odd one.
What was, do you think, the worst thing you guys individually did in school? Well, when I say school, I mean like
primary school
When you
or
say the
Do you count
worst
secondary
thing,
school?
Do you mean like
I'm gonna say like
cringy,
yeah,
or do you mean like being an asshole?
I'd say like punishable. Like, you know what I mean?
okay, punishable thing.
Yeah.
Most punishable thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really do too much in the secondary school. I had a lot of red rooms, which was basically detentions
Yeah.
for the junior school. I had a lot of them, but they were all for like little petty things. There was one time I stole a certain person's globe and used it as a football.
A globe.
Yeah. And it like really messed it up, and I had to write a letter of apology because his dad gave it to him.
Jeez.
He brought it in for show and tell, and I nicked it and played football with it.
There's only 3 I can think of in primary school. First one was I think it was year 1. So this is when I was at my school before, like Hampton. I was an absolute wetty. I was playing families with a group of girls. I was I was really odd. I didn't play with the boys. I'd often like sleep on the benches. I was just a weird kid. And then,
Some would say you still are.
Yeah. But I was playing families, and everyone was a human other than me. I was the pet rabbit. And we're playing, and some like, I don't know, some kid that I'm like really good mates with, but just for some reason ignored, started kind of laughing at us. Fair enough, to be honest. I was crawling under a bench pretending to be a rabbit. But one of the girls goes, "Oh my god, he's laughing at us." Someone punch him in the balls, and I literally, no questions asked, sprint at the kid and just nail him.
This kid in your year?
Wow.
Bear in mind, I'm 5, right?
Is he 5?
Yeah. We're good mates. We were good mates. It was just he laughed, and I was a wetty and went to press the ladies. Even at 5
No
years old.
prisoners.
Always been, but yeah, that was bad. I got like the nurse told me off and told me like what damage I could have done. Like, yeah, but and then I think the head teacher kind of like, I think he like walked past nurses officers as I was getting told off, and I think he knew what had happened, so he was just like, "Oh, don't do that again." But I didn't get like sent to the head teacher. Then year 3, I did the football thing, and then it was year 6. This one wasn't so bad, but it's probably the funniest. I used to get baby bells every lunch.
Respect, full respect. Not the melting part.
I'd roll the wax in my hands until it was like really soft.
Oh, I did that.
And then I would also bear in mind the ceilings aren't just like a normal room height. Yeah. It's like a room and a half high. Like it's taller. Like you couldn't get it down easily without like you need like a relatively big step ladder to get it down. And I launched them. It got stuck on the ceiling. And then I did it one lunch. Teacher didn't notice for like a week and a half. I then my mate Joshua had a broken arm at the time. I don't know why it's relevant, but he did. And another mate of mine. So there's just one up there. And then I throw a second. And then Josh throws a third. I think the other person threw one as well.
So there is now 3 on the roof.
There might have even
I did
been
not
4.
do that.
But basically, they were there for like a week. They were there for like a week. But like the day it happened, I think my teacher knew something was up, just hadn't figured out what, because everyone was like laughing. Like they come back from lunch and everyone was kind of like giggling themselves, and like it was just really awkward because I was like, please don't make this fucking obvious. And then like a week later, I don't know who ratted me out. That it was me, but the 3 of us got off. And, what's the word called? The people that like look after, I want to say janitors, but that's like not like quite the
cleaners, lunch ladies. What do you mean? Caretakers.
Caretaker, that's the word. Yeah, the caretakers had to like get a ladder to take them down.
Oh, straight.
I like how you were like the people who take care.
Wow, I really
The take carers.
But yeah.
So were they noticeable?
Like the 3...
Do you reckon?
What?
The bit like I don't know if you were to walk into that room.
Do you think
if you looked up, yes, but you wouldn't naturally look up. The worst part was though they took him down, and I'd already got in trouble at this point.
Yes.
And
Did it take the paint off?
No, but it did leave like a little purple stain. But he never, like, my teacher never brought it up.
Fucking
I was always worried, like, oh no, I might get in extra trouble for this. Like, I was all good.
Oh dear. See, when I was at school, junior school, I just never, like, I was probably just like a really not good kid, but I was probably just a massive pussy. Yeah, I was
vice captain of the house.
House captain, mate.
Oh, house captain.
An alternate title, king of the absolute. Well, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say virgins because we were what?
What was the green one called?
Neptune.
That's
You were in Mercury.
Mercury.
Yeah.
Best house. Just saying.
Nah, Neptune.
Yellow. Favorite color. It was always meant to be.
I quite liked the color green at the time.
So wait, Will, what was the worst thing you did? So Dexter, yours was the glow?
Well, I really don't.
Well,
no.
I don't know. Maybe biting someone because they didn't give me my Thomas the Tank Engine toy.
Oh, Dexter, bad. I remember one. I don't know if it was you or someone else, but I think you sprayed like something in someone else's face, like as a joke, and they were joking as well, so they didn't really care. But I remember our teacher, I can't remember who it was like, you could blind someone like that. And it was just like fucking.
I did a lot of stuff in reception. I jumped off a bookcase and the whole thing fell over.
That's legendary.
Yeah, I was a right little shit back then. I was awful.
I wasn't too bad till I think when I joined, like, I don't know. I always was like mischievous. I was like cheeky, you know what I mean? Like I'd always be pushing the boundary, but I'd never usually step over.
Oh, whenever I got in any trouble, I was always just like so nervous or like just crying, basically. I remember one thing we did in secondary school, Dexter, that I was like, I had anxiety about it for weeks, like months.
What did you do?
Do you remember what it was?
I don't think so.
It was when we must have been, year 8 or year 7? But I remember the road, Coptown Road that we were on, we just, I don't know, decided to randomly go out and do press-ups and like sit-ups on the road. And I remember Dexter...
All the money fell out your pocket.
Yeah. Well, basically...
like in the middle of the road.
Right, here's the story. So we're just walking back home. I don't know what we did. Yeah, someone... Was it I dropped the money in the road, or did one of us throw it into the road?
No, it fell out of your pockets when you were doing sit-ups.
Right, so I think we dared each other to like. I did like a sit-up in the road, and bear in mind this is a long, long road, so it's not like we wouldn't see any cars coming. It's Coptown Road, like, you know, coming in from school. So we're basically on the bottom of the dip of the road, so we can see any cars coming. We're no problem whatsoever. So I think I'm the first one to do it, to do like a press up or a sit up or something, and then it's Dexter's turn to go out and do, like, we only do one each, and then Dexter does like a sit up.
I'm not surprised you can only do one.
Oh wow.
Wow.
This was year 8. That was a low. Wow. Okay. Anyway, moving on. And then Dexter comes out of the road, and you know, we're walking back up, and then a teacher from our school, I don't know if I should drop his name, but notice it, like, drives past, beeps at us.
The guy who would beat every other teacher in a fight.
Okay, yeah.
Scary guy. Right, he drives, I think, does he beep at us or something?
No, he drives and he's just staring at us.
He like looks at us like, oh my god, like, what have you done? And not like horrified, but more like, I'm gonna kill you.
I don't know if I ever told you, but in the first P lesson I had after that, it was with him, and he
definitely
told
me. Yeah, you've told
me. And he was like, it's funny because he actually really likes me, and he was like, now I know you were probably just crossing the road, not doing anything stupid.
Yeah, you were the one in the street doing the stuff.
Yeah. But that other lad, and you're lucky, Will, I didn't rat you out.
Yeah, no, if you ratted me out, my life would have been over.
You would have been dead.
I don't think I ever thanked you for that fully. Like, that's massive respect, because I was, and then basically, I knew, because you told me next time, and bearing in mind, whenever I go into school for the next like couple weeks, I'm like stressing out. Like, whenever I like see him or whatever, I'm just panicking, because he like, I've had lessons with him before, but he doesn't know me because I'm not in his house, and there's no reason to know me. So I'm just like, do you reckon he saw my face? And I remember right after it happened, we just ran home and we were both like scared shitless. Because when you're year 8, that's your life over.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so somehow Dexter tells me that he didn't get in any trouble. He just got warned, despite him being the one that he saw in the road. And he says, I didn't tell you who it was. Didn't tell him who it was. But I think he wants to know who you are. And I'm shitting it. So I'm basically like, blah, 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 blah. Just whenever I see him, I freak out, try and avoid him as much as I can. He doesn't notice me in a PE lesson or whenever I see him, so I think I'm all right. But then I think in an assembly, maybe a couple of weeks later, he mentions something about it in assembly, just be really careful on the roads or something like that. And I thought he was going to call me out in front of everyone. I was gonna die.
Funny how much like back then I think that I'd be terrified as well.
The thing is, like, I just thought I'd get like suspended or something like that. Like I wasn't like in
about his education.
Well, yeah, like and bearing in mind, like before that, I've had 0 red rooms, which were basically detentions. I've had 0 detentions in secondary school. I've never really done much wrong.
He is a good boy.
I was a very good boy.
Does no wrong, ladies and gents.
Does a fucking press up in the road. And yeah, so and still I remember months after that I just felt sick, like to my stomach, whenever like I thought about it in school. But yeah, that was a weird time. I don't know why I've only just thought of that. But yeah, that's weird.
It's funny how much more that would bother me back then.
Yeah.
Like if it happened now, I'd just be like, sake. And I could kind of get on with it, but like, I don't know, back then for some reason, you feel like it would be okay for him to beat the shit out of you for doing something like that. Like, I don't know. That's what it feels like. Weird.
Well, it's like, how many detentions do you reckon you got in secondary school?
Are we counting ones where the whole class was held back?
No.
That would drive my tally up the roof.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I got any. Genuinely.
I got at least like 2 after school.
Like, I don't think I was a particularly, like, probably until like year 9, maybe. But like until after that, I just don't think I really cared, or I just didn't happen to do anything wrong. There's times where I've like missed it by a fraction. Like I remember not doing my homework one day, and there just happened to be a supply teacher, and I was like, Jesus, are you watching over me? But yeah, it's like stuff.
Nah, I had a few with Clancy.
Oh
yeah.
I had my favourite ever detention with Clancy. That was a beautiful detention.
There's an after school. No, actually, I tell a lie, because I don't know if it was year 10 or year 11. Whenever the first year we did business, because I had Mr. Perry, and I just remember there was a streak where like me and Jim were just doing so shit in every like test that we had, like every now and then, because Perry would just give us like a test on what we just learned, and I'd always somehow fuck it because I just didn't really get it.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember I was doing this stuff with like, and I'm not calling like other people dumb or whatever, but I just remembered people like that were just after school, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't call myself like dumb. I just don't know how I fucked that test up. But it was like week after week, and I don't know if you call that an after school detention, but it was just basically like staying after school and learning it.
I might have had the dumbest after school detention that I think anyone's had.
Explain.
I definitely had the dumbest detention, but it wasn't after school, so you probably take the cake for that.
Right, mine is right. I mean, you guys probably know the story, but I'll refresh your memory. I was in art, and the hot glue gun is active.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I decide to, I think we're all like queued at the side or something. For some reason, we're still at the side where the hot glue gun is.
Yep.
And there's a pencil like stuck upright in the glue, and just jokingly, I take it out and I poke this girl next to me, who I know. Like, it wasn't weird to poke her with a pencil. And then I leave the pen. I can't remember. I think we like something said. I can't remember exactly what it was. Then I put the pencil down on the desk, pretty much exactly where it was, and I go back to my seat, which is very close to this edge where everyone's doing their stuff. Like our table was like right next to the hot glue gun section.
Yeah.
About 10 seconds later, same girl hits me on the wrist with a pencil, but for some reason it's burning hot. So I run to the first words that came out of my mouth. Oh shit, that's hot! And I ran to the tap and like put cold water on. And I look at what's happened, and there is melting hot glue going through my skin.
Jeez.
And I just have like dry. Well, now I've run it under cold water. It's just dried within my skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's divoting down a little where this is hot glue lining it. And we have a tech teacher as our cover teacher, so he's confused.
Oh, it's a cover. Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I got sent to like the nurse's office. My mum works at the school, so she took me to A&E. But yeah, I was fine. I had to. Worst part was I got home, so I went to A&E, and the doctor was like, "You have a choice of either letting your skin kind of grow under it, and it will slowly push the glue out, or you can just rip it out."
I'm
And
guessing
I went with the ripping option the
yeah.
second I got home, and it was fucking painful. But yeah, basically, I then come into school. I think it was a Friday that day, but on Monday I think we come back into school, and I get called to one of the head of years, and no head of houses, and I assume, oh, okay, we're gonna talk about what happened, and yeah, I'm assuming that this girl's gonna get into trouble, attacking me with hot glue after I poked her with a pencil.
Attack.
We both get an after school, and I'm kind of like, why? Like, why is our punishment the same? And it's like, oh yeah, although I just said her name. Please
I'll
edit
blip it
that.
out.
But although she did burn you with the hot glue, you were actively provoking her. And I was like, you fucking what? I poked her with a pencil. Are you mad? Oh, I was fuming. But I have enough punishment. I still have a scar like permanently on my wrist.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got the same punishment. So yeah, I got after school for poking someone with a pencil, and then proceeding to get burnt with hot glue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Mine isn't the action. Like the reason I got the detention, sure, that's fine enough, but it's what followed. So the actual detention was just stupid. Like so, you'll probably remember, Sam, the time in one of Clancy's lessons when we were going through one of the papers, and it was one that like barely anyone had done.
No, because I have the same stupid detention. I think it might be the same as yours. Carry on there.
And I didn't even have the right paper, right? So I had the wrong paper. So when the way he would do it is when we were going through it, you'd go from the back, so anyone who hadn't finished it was screwed basically, and he'd pick on people to answer questions.
Yeah.
Somehow, a certain person managed to just bullshit through it, even though they hadn't done
that's
it.
after. Okay, this is after I got into trouble.
But yeah,
I missed out one question on the paper.
Sam missed out one, and Clancy was like, "Oh,
No
you haven't done it," and just sent him off to the side to do it, and then he was back instantly.
It's the one question I hadn't done, and the one thing I get picked on for is this question, and then I don't get a detention. I'll let you carry on after, but I don't get a detention for it. And obviously, I've like finished marking everything other than this one question, which I then did in class. And at the lunchtime, you then had to basically, if you got told off, you go to the side and actually do the paper, and then you come back at lunch for detention where you'd mark it, which is what everyone did in lesson. But obviously, I only have one question to mark because I only missed one out.
Yeah.
So I finish in like a minute, like marking my paper, and he's like, I go up to him, I'm like, "Oh, sir, I'm finished." And he's like, "How have you finished so fast?" I'm like, "Oh, I only missed the one question. It's happened to be pick me." And he's like, "We shouldn't be missing out any questions." I'm like, "I didn't know the answer." And then he goes, "Well, you should have Googled it." And then just showed me the door.
Well, you should have Googled it.
I was like,
fuck me.
I didn't want to cheat on.
Yeah.
Like, he basically told me off for. I think he's just fuming that I had a relatively valid.
Yeah.
Realize. God,
Yeah.
annoying
It's
me
like
so
whenever
much. Anyway,
we, I
carry on
just,
with your.
yeah, you go.
Yeah, he's going around asking people, people are getting sent to the side and everything. And I've got the wrong paper, and it's a paper that we'd already done and marked, so it's like a marked paper. So he gets to me and I'm like, oh, I've got the wrong paper, and he's like, right to the side. I was like, okay, because I can't do anything at the side because I've marked,
Because you don't
done
have
and marked the
paper.
paper already. So then I come back at lunch and I'm like, he's like, right, mark the paper. I was like, well, I don't have the right paper, so this one's already marked. And he was like, oh, well, you can come back after school with the correct one and do that. And I was like,
Fuck me.
okay. And then he was like, hang on. For an after school, don't I have to get your parents to sign something? And I was like, yeah.
Right.
And he was like, oh, I can't be bothered. Just go. I was like, what was the point in that whole thing just for you to let me go because you can't be bothered to give me something for my parents to sign? Like, honestly, it was so stupid.
It's like all I can think about is like the woke meme. It's just like asking your parents' permission for a slip. I sleep. It's like signing or just like writing a full fucking paper that I don't even have. It's just like real shit. No. But yeah, I really hated it. The only experience I have with that teacher is I don't think I was ever taught by him. I probably had a couple of covers here and there. Fucking shit covers. But yeah, whenever he was in study, it's just, coat off, coat off, coat off, coat off, hat off, coat off, jumper off, coat off. Fucking hell, it's just like...
Tell you what was, like, thing is, really rarely hit a good mood, and I'd argue it was more scary.
He
was in a good mood.
He just come across incredibly psychopathic.
Oh, I completely agree.
A definite psychopath. Like, at the start of the lesson, he was talking about force, and he was like, say I just turn and shoot Jack right now. And we're just like, what does this have anything to do with... Like, come on.
Out of the open. Funny. Just say if I shoot Jack right now.
If I just shoot him right now.
Best was when he was dropping different sized balls into water. He just drops a football and it sprays everywhere.
It's right by our desk with all our work on it, and he's like, now, say if this type of radiation hits your body, slams it into fucking bit of water, and it goes everywhere, soaks everyone. Like, he's just a madman.
He's great.
Like, it was funny. But then when he was in a bad mood, you were like, uh-oh, he's in a bad mood today.
Well, I had that with my science teacher. I'm going to bleep it out, but missed whenever I had him. Because I had him for physics for like a solid 2 years, and that was horrible. Just because, like, I didn't hate him. I'm not going to say I didn't have anything against him. He was just, like, so cringy and so awkward, and I just don't get it. Like, there was one time we were doing something about sound or sound waves or something like that, and he just had a microphone at the front. And I think he asked to sing into the mic, and it was just and then she was just like, "Oh, I'm all right, thanks," and everyone was just like silent, and he was properly like, "Oh no, come on, you've got a great voice, give it a go," and it was like, no, it was like, oh, like you can feel the cringe. Oh,
yeah, he's
just
always been
disgusting. He asked me once on Mufti Day to run from one side of the classroom to the other and back, and I was just like, I don't really want to. I'm the only one doing this. And I was just like, no. Obviously, it was for a purpose, but I just hated. Some lessons were really the banes of my life. Like there was some sets we had which were banging.
With science teachers.
Well, yeah, like, can you who are the good science teachers? Because Dr. Sharp is a legend.
Dr. Sharp.
Just
Absolutely.
name drop everyone.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna.
Every teacher.
Right, I'll bleep all
every
this out.
single
Actually.
teacher.
All right, so we only probably had a handful of like legends. Maybe
Yeah,
one
there
or
weren't.
We just kept getting like changes all the time.
Yeah.
Because we were getting like we had two people, and one left the school and then one stopped doing teaching science. So instead of you were supposed to get one new teacher for when you started doing all 3 sciences. You're only supposed to get one new teacher. We got 3 new teachers because the 2
Yeah,
that
none of
previously
them
teaching us
knew.
were both gone.
Oh yeah, that's a shame.
So like that kind of, it already kind of puts you out of sync, and then when a couple of them are maybe not as good as you'd hope,
Yeah,
it's
that's a good way to say it.
it's not great. But I don't know.
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
like it's kinda
the
just
school was
bottle up
quite hit or miss.
teachers.
There was a lot of good teachers and there was a lot of bad
I
ones,
guess
but
we
it's
never
just
miss her.
fucking.
Oh,
I
jeez.
respect it.
It was quick.
I
so,
made the
like,
joke and I don't
very
respect it.
yeah, I'm glad you don't, because that means I can say that I fully don't. There's nothing respectable about the joke you made.
No, it's
Oh.
Oh, what are current memes? I'm out of the loop.
Well, Big Chungus is kind of coming
Big
to an
Chungus
end.
is kind of slowly dying.
The Mafia memes
That's
are
how
kind
Mafia
of.
works.
that
Yeah,
the-
I'm not a fan of. I have seen a couple.
I
of
don't
those.
like the Mafia memes at all. Like some of them are funny, but it's just like it's like with any meme, most of them are dead, but some of them, the cat memes are still going on. Like it's not like a meme, a huge like format like or template, but I feel like cat memes are just everywhere now.
What, Bongo Cat?
well,
No, like
No,
just
just
cats
cats.
crying
They're
and
like-
cats just doing
yeah,
stuff like
sad
that. It's so
cats and,
fucking
like,
hilarious.
polite cat.
I've got a cat like
They can't
licking,
be
like
funny.
passionately licking a lollipop like here. It's fucking
There's-
hilarious.
I think cats will always be memes. It's
Yeah,
just
well,
they
that's how
originally
YouTube
weren't
started, and then
called
memes have
They
just
were
gone back to them.
Yeah,
When
because
did memes?
memes have been around. Like the troll face was called a meme, but the whole sort of idea of a meme never really took off until fairly recently.
Yeah.
Because they've been around forever. Well, not forever, but for a long time they've been around.
I'm
But
pretty sure
it's
you can
just
find some in,
the
like,
idea of a meme is, like.
I'm pretty sure there's some
art
like
kind of-
political memes in like 1800s.
Oh
like,
yeah,
newspapers and stuff.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
like
like, that's so-
any kind of cartoon that's a smear tactic, any of that. These days
Sure.
you'd be like, oh, that's a meme.
Do
But
you reckon there's any like cave drawings or hieroglyphs that
Caveman
just haven't sussed out yet that are actually memes?
Nice.
probably, yeah.
I'm
'Cause
just
they're-
gonna go
they're
and see on my
depicted
on
to
my
tell
feed.
stories, aren't they? So if they were telling
What's the
a funny
definition?
story,
Definition of a meme.
Yeah.
it's just a. I don't really know actually the definition.
Because they can vary so much.
A lot of them are
The
just
definition
trends, aren't they?
is an element of a culture or system of behavior passed from one individual to another by imitation or non-genetic memes. Or the second one is an image, video, piece of text, blah blah blah, typically humorous in nature that is copied and spread rapidly by internet users with variation,
Okay.
which is
So yeah, I
fair
guess
enough.
the first definition could be applied to quite a
It's
lot.
yeah, it's basically like a running
Yeah.
joke that is changed and altered.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's just any kind of, because most memes are just a template, and then everyone just makes their own version of it. Well, not everyone makes their own version, but
I like how some of the ones that are still going on, like you know how the Avengers Infinity War that brought us so many memes. Like the Thanos memes are still going on. Like, I
they're
really
gonna
respect
come
that.
back
They are gonna come back, and that's great.
because
Like,
obviously Endgame will be coming out.
yeah, like there's still like Ben Shapiro memes everywhere. SpongeBob memes are really good as well.
You're
Like
a
that.
big fan. I think that's more just you loving them.
I don't
more
know.
than
I just
anything
feel like SpongeBob memes are
There's
like
a lot
some of the most
SpongeBob memes.
well, not the most popular, but like it's very memeable.
You are a big fan of them, though. I've
Oh,
never
Oh
it's,
yeah, I
you
completely
are,
agree.
yeah.
One of the I was watching a video, and during the video they found out that the creator of SpongeBob died, and literally, like, it took 5 seconds for a guy to do this, right? They've only just found out, and one of them just goes, "Who lives in a car?"
Jesus.
It's like, Jesus, man, you've only just found out. Unrelenting.
Speaking of Avengers and stuff, though, new films out this year.
Just
Yeah.
what Marvel films or everything?
Everything. Toy Story 4.
Oh, I saved like a
2019
calendar,
a huge
but not the one
year
that I
for
made myself. But
films.
I saved like a grid of just all the films coming up, because there's that Glass film that I want to watch, because I haven't seen Split. I
think
haven't
that
seen
came out today,
Unbreakable.
didn't it?
I think it might have done, yeah.
Class.
But yeah, I really want to go see it because it just looks really cool.
There's a
What
lot
else
of
is-
films, and there's a lot of TV as well. There's
Game of
like
Thrones.
all kinds of media. There is a lot of film and television coming out this
wow.
year.
Didn't you see Bumblebee recently, Dexter?
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
I haven't
'cause,
seen that yet. My
as
mate said it
someone
was pretty
who,
good.
like the original Transformers movie, the 1980s one.
Yeah.
That was the Transformers film in my childhood, like the Michael Bay one. They were
Oh,
like,
they can go away.
you know, they were all right when you're like 10 and action like that is kind of exciting.
And
But
Megan Fox.
yeah, woohoo! But like, you know, when you start to actually look at it and you're like, God, the writing is absolutely awful. No one
Yeah.
gives a fuck about the human characters because they're awfully developed, and it's just random metal on metal. You can't tell what Transformers what. But the Bumblebee film, they used the Gen 1 designs, which are the ones that were in the original cartoon and the movie, the original movie. So
Like, quite
you know,
unique looking, are they?
yeah,
Like
you can
each character.
instantly tell
Okay.
what characters there are. So, like in the Michael Bay films, because even though I knew everyone was going to be shit, I'd still watch it to see
Yeah.
if somehow it suddenly changed to being good, but they never were. But you'd see a character and you'd be like, "Who is this? Like, what is this Transformer?" And then they'd say their name and you'd be like, "That looks nothing like it." But in the Bumblebee film, they don't have to say the names of any characters, because if you were a fan of the show back then, or you liked the original film, you're like, I know that character, that one. I know who you are just because of the way it looks. And I
But
think
it still keeps. It doesn't look old at all, though. It still looks really modern,
no,
does it?
it's really like take the graphics and the special effects of the Michael Bay films. So it's really good special effects, but give them actual characterful designs of the Transformers.
Okay.
So
cool.
you can tell who they are. So like, you know, you see there's a character Soundwave who they did in the Michael Bay films completely ruined his character. But you see him, I saw him in Bumblebee. As soon as I saw him, I was like, yes, that is a Soundwave that you want. And he has the same voice. So you're like, yep, that's the voice. Instantly, you know. He has his feature. It's obviously that it was just made for a toy and it doesn't make any sense, but he presses a button and he like opens his chest and a cassette tape comes out, and that's also a Transformer. That's his thing.
Oh, that's cool.
So
See,
it doesn't make
I
any
remember when I was younger,
sense,
I did.
but yeah,
I
like-
watched. Sorry, no, I'm interrupting you. Go.
it was clear to me that the director, Travis Knight, I think his name is, he clearly was a fan of Transformers, whereas Michael Bay clearly wasn't. So it kind of, you know, I think if you're going to make a film, you've got to make it about something you actually like or are a fan of, because if you make something where you're just like,
Purely
this
for
will make money,
commercial profit, yeah. No, it's not going to
if
work.
you're like, this will make money,
Or
I'll just
it's
make
not
some
re-
big
it's
metal robots
Not really going to work. Yeah.
whack against each other. Whereas because it works with any movie, like you can always tell if the director is really, if it's a
Passionate.
passion project or not.
Completely agree.
And that's where I think Bumblebee succeeds, because they've managed to. It focuses around a very central group of characters. You know, you're not instantly flying off. Oh, here's like 15 army characters you don't give a fuck about, and here's all these humans you don't care about, and here's these humans you also don't care about, and then here's just a load of metal that hits each other. You've got Bumblebee, you've got the two Decepticons, Shatter and Dropkick, I think it is, and they have more development than any of the other ones in the Michael Bay films. And just with three main Transformers, because you start off on on Cybertron, and they show you all the original people who you're like, oh yeah, there's Optimus, there's everyone.
Yeah.
And then instead of having it, because it could have worked if they'd just gone all out War for Cybertron, have all of those Transformers. It probably could have worked, but they wanted to do a more, I guess, it's kind of like a Herbie movie, in the sense that Bumblebee is this car, the girl played by Haley Steinfeld, Charlie. She really wants a car. She gets the car. Turns out that it's a Transformer, and
you can tell that from the trailer.
Yeah. But... And they then form a bond, kind of like in a Herbie movie, where they figure out the car's kind of alive, and they have a really strong bond with the car.
That's cool.
And it's more centered around their relationship rather than, here's Optimus Prime going after the Allspark, and here's Megatron, who also wants the Allspark because he wants to destroy all the humans. Here's this, here's that. It's a lot more centered, and it's, I think their problem with it is the fact that they kind of, because it's not a reboot, it's a prequel, they have to kind of align with the Michael Bay films chronologically.
Okay. So it's a...
I think it is, because I heard the director talking about how originally they wanted a scene where they had the Gen 1 design of Megatron, Cybertron, but because in the Michael Bay films he's like in the ice or something on Earth, they couldn't do it because it would have screwed everything up.
I didn't realize it was connected. I know that my mates said that it was like they nod to it. I didn't think it was.
Yeah, they nod to it because you like see the car that Bumblebee is in the first Transformers film as well at the start. But like the director, I think if he wanted to, and if they allowed him to, like, if it was a reboot, I think they could have done really well with it. Like, if they ran with that idea instead, because in terms of telling stories, originally the Transformers were toys. They were toys, and then they got made into a show. So, there were things that didn't make much sense. Why are these robots that turn into cars from an alien planet,
Yeah.
In reality, it doesn't make sense, but with the correct storytelling, which I think they've done very well in Bumblebee, is it can work out as a good film if you actually give character development.
Well, it's like
when I first saw the trailer, I was worried it was just going to be another Transformers film.
Yeah,
and I was fairly worried about that as well.
I'm going to be honest. When I saw John Cena, I was just a bit like, I know, like, not saying he's like I haven't seen him in enough roles to like say he's this kind of actor, that kind of actor, but like I don't know, just he rubs me the wrong way about
it's kind of like
the
The
film.
Rock.
Yeah, like the same with that. Like he's been in some good movies, and some films that he's in are like I really like, but I don't know. I just feel like he's like there's Skyscraper that I know I haven't seen, and I don't know if that's out yet. There's Rampage that is out. I haven't seen that. That one about, is it San Andreas? Like I don't know. It just feels like he's in every movie at the moment, and it's just a bit like, eh.
What, The Rock?
Yeah.
He's in The Rock.
No, The Rock. The Rock was in San Andreas and the other two that I mentioned. It's just a bit like, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's in a similar boat, I think.
Yeah,
I agree.
Where they kind of they're sold, like the films are sold kind of on the actors over the actual.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly made to be very commercial.
Yeah, which I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with a cast carrying the film, or like for advertising purposes, but like it's quite, I don't know, when I watch, like I don't mind the film San Andreas, like I quite like disaster movies like as it goes, but I don't know, I just feel like it's really corny and campy with him in, like, oh, it's The Rock saving his family, and it's like I could guess that it's the same in the other two.
I mean, nearby. With certain actors, when you see them in a movie, you do instantly presume what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Because, certain actors are obviously suited to certain roles. If they're not amazing actors, they can't necessarily play those other roles that aren't in tune with their current acting style.
And again, there's nothing wrong with actors not doing a load of roles. Like you couldn't put someone like is it Ben Mendelsohn, the guy who plays Krennic in Rogue One? I know he does a load of other stuff, but like you probably couldn't put him in a like he's suited for a very evil guy kind of mysterious person role, like in The Dark Knight Rises again. But
a lot of I'd argue method actors probably could do far less per year, because like some method actors gain like a few stone just to play a certain role, which is so crazy.
At Christian Bale, and you look at there's pictures of like different transformations he's had in films. He goes from being an anorexic guy to overweight, and you're just like that does put a toll on your body. So you can only do it so much.
Who was it? I don't know who I heard this off, but I found it quite funny. Like, because they said like, method acting, is in a sense becoming the character that you are playing, or something along those lines. I'm not quoting directly, but then he said, "That's not acting. That is becoming someone else." And then like just I don't know, like it was along those lines. I can't remember if one of you know what I'm talking about. But I
mean, you're doing it for a production, though, so
yeah.
And I don't think you'll ever fully become that. I think method acting is getting as close to that person as you possibly can.
Yeah, like there are cases where like with Heath Ledger, where doing the Joker did take some kind of toll.
Yeah,
on him.
Of course.
Because it's a very the way his Joker was played and portrayed was in a very extreme manner.
So amazing.
That's probably one of like I say this constantly, but it's probably one of my favorite films of all time. Dark Knight, right? Rises,
and there's good reason, and it doesn't matter because some people they praise their performance, and some people think it's just because everyone else praises it. But Heath Ledger's Joker, he's still the only actor in a comic book movie to win an Oscar.
Yep.
Still.
Crazy.
And that means something. Because you look at Robert Downey Jr., he does an amazing job as Iron Man. Still hasn't won an Oscar for it.
Yeah,
it's amazing, but he still hasn't won an Oscar for it. Whereas Heath managed to. I believe it was Best Supporting Actor he won. And I remember seeing The Dark Knight when it came out, and my dad took me to it. And
I saw it when it came out as well.
I remember, as quite a young kid, I was actually quite scared.
Oh, same. I was terrified. I hid behind my dad.
Like, when you're that young, like, he's unnerving even now. Like, his movements and everything. It's unnerving the way he plays the character.
Just the way he speaks
when you're a
and
child,
acts.
When you're a child, that is scary. And,
because the film was 12. Is it 12A? Where
12A,
even if you're under, you can go with an adult.
Your parent can take you.
Certified 12.
I was
too
too
right
young.
here.
I was
Well, people
2008 that came out.
Yeah.
So
people kept thinking it's like quite recently. No, it was a longer while ago. Do you think?
Same year as Iron Man came out. I saw both of those.
Really?
The first year they came
That's
out.
a big year for superheroes then.
I saw both of those when they came out, and like I can't remember which came out first, but I just remember Iron Man. I was like, "This is awesome," I wasn't scared. Dark Knight, I was like, "Shit, this is quite scary."
Terrifying.
Because there's scenes where, like, for a 12A, it's quite, intense for a 12A. You've got him.
Probably shouldn't have been. A 12A.
Because they were going off of what Batman Begins was, so
it was just quite gritty, like, and
tonally,
well,
you've got the Joker murdering people straight up with knives. You've got when he blows up the hospital. That's
that bit where he broadcasts himself on the TV channel with like that. Just that it's just the way he broadcasts
on the TV,
that terrifies
me. Well,
I know he did that himself.
I love about that, is that Christopher Nolan gave him a camera and just gave him a rough idea of what the scene was going to be, and then told him to go and make it. And he came up with that, which is just is an excellent performance.
Yeah, he's it's crazy. Really, really, really.
I don't. The thing is, like now he's set the bar so high. I don't think that any
don't
actor
think
is
a
going to be able to
Joker-
come near. Like even if he's not widely which I think he is, like regarded as the best Joker.
Yeah,
I don't know how anyone's gonna
because you can have
top that.
alternate interpretations, like Mark Hamill's voicing of the Joker in the animated series and stuff.
Great,
Like,
yeah.
it's excellent. But in terms of that gritty, realistic, really psychopathic Joker, I don't think you're going to top it.
No.
Because there's a Joker film coming out. I don't know if it's this year actually.
Yeah.
with Joaquin
Yeah, I saw
Phoenix.
something about it.
Well, like I said, I
And-
wish him all the best, and I hope it's going to be a great movie. But I really don't think he can live up to it, in terms of my eyes, anyway.
Yeah, that is the problem. Is that forever anyone who plays Joker is going to be compared to Heath, and it's very hard to live up to that. Nigh
Yeah, it's gonna
impossible.
take a very impressive performance.
Well, I think maybe with
Close.
that segue, let's go into the film that's coming out this year. I've got a list in front of me, and I was just thinking, like, I'm looking at it now. There is a load of really, really good films coming out this year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm far less clued up than the both of you two, but I am
Yeah.
aware that Toy Story 4 is coming out in the summer.
You're very
is-
right.
Right, that could be
so
as
excited.
sad. That could be as sad as Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
Could be.
I
'Cause it's
honestly
the last
think
one.
so.
It's the last Toy Story.
Well, they said it's going to even be even more brutal.
Yeah, they said it's going to be quite dark for Toy Story, and Toy Story is not extremely
Toy
lighthearted
Story
all the
3
time.
had two moments that were close to tear moments.
Yeah,
When they're going, well,
In the incinerator.
and then
Yeah,
and the
Toy,
last bit,
everyone's
yeah.
seen
And at
Toy
the
Story.
end.
If you haven't
yeah.
seen Toy Story yet, then what are you doing?
You're a
Come
fool.
on.
yeah. Why are you on this? You're more important
Why?
than the fucking.
You have Toy Story to watch, not this shit podcast.
Oh,
Come on.
apparently they're making a Frozen 2 that's coming out this year. I didn't even know that.
No, bun that.
I'm not mad at that. I thought Frozen.
I thought Frozen is a good film. Like thing is, I heard I didn't see it until probably a month or two, like ages after it came out, because when it first came onto Sky or whatever it was, I gave it a watch because I was bored, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this. I might see what all the fuss is about. I generally liked it as a good Disney
It's
Disney
really
film.
good.
Yeah,
It's
like
not
the
as good as
soundtrack is
Tangled.
kind of annoying. As good as what? Sorry.
It's not as good as Tangled. Like that's probably my favorite kind of that
I'm
style.
going to be honest, I haven't seen Tangled all the way through yet. I've seen bits, but I've never seen it
Tangled-
all the way through from
Tangled.
start to finish.
But Frozen, I think the issue with it was how just like
How the
it was
soundtrack
shoved
took
in
off, yeah.
everybody's faces. Like it was unavoidable for like a year, and I mean, there's still memes about it. Like the forget the character's name, but the one knocking on the door. It's like, why would you play with me or whatever? I can't
Oh,
remember. It's
right.
part of the song, and then it cuts to something else. But like, that's still like around. Like I've seen that
Yeah, of
relatively
course.
Yeah.
recently, and it's so crazy. But I don't really know why it took off as well.
Neither do I.
It
Well,
was. I mean, it was a Disney film, but like, I don't know. I don't see why that took far more like Tangled ever did, or
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a weird one.
Well, they're making a real life Aladdin and a real life Dumbo this year.
Ooh,
Apparently, Will
that's
Smith is going to be the genie.
okay.
I say the genie. Does he have a name?
Ah, that's hot.
Ah, that's hot.
Fuck's sake.
So we've got Captain Marvel, of course, and Spider-Man: Homecoming in terms of Marvel films. Oh yeah, sorry. Ugh,
Come
my mistake.
Okay.
Oh, that's really embarrassing. We've got
Avengers Endgame,
episode
yeah.
9 of Star Wars.
Yeah.
We've got It Chapter 2, which I'm really looking forward to actually mentioning it.
I've never seen the first.
Really, it was good.
Yeah,
Like
Good.
having watched the original. Well, it was a mini series, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they put it into a. You can't just get it.
Yeah.
Film. It's
Um,
very long though.
yeah.
Because it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't think it was like I don't know. Like I thought it was a good film. I'm not going to go into all
Yeah.
depth saying like, oh, they
It's
did this
good.
wrong, and they, you know,
It's
like
not amazing.
no.
You know, but it's good.
And there's
That's what you need.
Men in Black International with Liam Neeson, Chris Hemsworth, and is it Tessa Thompson?
Yeah,
that looks good as well. There's Shazam, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm not obviously a fan of the DC films, but Shazam looks really funny.
Yeah, I'm a bit clueless to be honest with films, but you guys are far more into the Marvel series than I am.
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Oh, Secret Life of Pets 2. That looks quite funny. I saw that in the trailer for the trailer looked really funny.
I just feel like with those kinds of films, they just show all the funny bits in the trailer, and then the rest of the film's gonna. It's just not great.
Have any of you
I've
guys
stopped watching movie trailers?
Oh, really?
Ever since How to Train Your Dragon 2, because there's a huge twist in that film that was just instantly given away in the trailer.
Yeah.
And since then, I've just been really I'm really cautious of watching them.
I didn't watch the trailer for it, but I did see it, and I could see how that would be spoiled. Speaking of that, How to Train Your Dragon 3 is this year. Yep. Yeah. I saw the trailer for that. That looked cool. John Wick Chapter 3. The trailer came out for that today, I think. I saw that. That was pretty funny.
Sorry. Detective Pikachu.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did watch the trailer for that. I just saw the cover thing. I was like...
I'm looking forward to seeing how Ryan Reynolds plays it, because that's quite a funny role. And they might have picked a really banging job. Obviously, Lion King as well this year. I didn't realise that Jon Favreau was directing that. But yeah, apparently he is. That's got a banging cast if you've ever seen that.
Jon Favreau will be directing the live-action Star Wars TV show that they're going to start making.
Oh, that'd be cool. He's really blown up, hasn't he?
Well, he did make the first Iron Man.
Yeah. There's that Spies in Disguise with Tom Holland and Will Smith. I know that they're obviously you mentioned Joker. There's another X-Men Dark Phoenix. There's another Jumanji film. I'm trying to see what else there is. I can't think.
Going back to the Rock. Sorry. I haven't seen it, but his voice acting in Moana is actually I've heard.
I haven't seen Moana either, but yeah.
I think it's because that he can. Obviously, the character is kind of modelled in a similar light to him, but when you're voice
just
acting,
a little bit.
When you're voice acting, you don't have to. The character could be completely different to what you look like, so you don't have to. Because The Rock, his body type, he's always going to play a certain type of character.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't be that big and play someone who cries all the time.
Yeah. So, but when you're voice acting, so maybe
his singing isn't half bad either, which is surprising. Why? Expect
a lot of people can sing. They've just got to find their range.
Yeah, true.
Key. If you're trying some songs, it's just not going to work. If say you're trying to sing a fucking Sway Lee song, if you can't hit those high notes, you'll get out of it.
High notes.
Yeah, you've got to, because if you're just trying to sing specific songs that aren't tailored to your vocal range,
you're just gonna mess
you're obviously not going to sound as good unless you are really good at doing that kind of impression. Whereas in something where it's made in production just for you, you've got the lyrics and you just can sing it in any key, whatever. You'll find that most people can sound all right with the right production as well.
Yeah. Plus, the budget they'll have on a film that includes they'll be able to have a really good come in and quite a big handbag.
The last film I'm going to mention that I really am excited for is Us. I know I've showed you the trailer for that, Sam. Dexter, I might have mentioned it to you.
I've seen the trailer for
it. It looks so good. I mean, Jordan Peele, I think he's the director of Get Out. which I'm sure you know, and he's done a load of skits with, is it Keegan-Michael Key? And the cast looks really good as well. Like, I'm hoping that's going to be one of the best horror films this year. Obviously, alongside It and, well, Toy Story 4 and Avengers.
I mean, things are going to get announced.
Yeah, of course, as they come. This is all we've got at the moment.
But it is a lot of stuff at the moment. And then in terms of TV, you've got
Game of Thrones. There's more Walking Dead coming soon.
Walking Dead will be coming back.
Oh, stop.
There's a lot going on.
I'm trying to think what else they're making.
Big year for the media.
Completely agree.
Speaking of media this year, though, albums.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some stuff I'm excited for. Danny Brown should be releasing this,
That's right.
which should be.
Or J. Cole's album should be coming out this year, and that like is it Revengers or whatever they said? I know that's.
Oh, is that the Dreamville project?
Yeah. They're kind of joking about it quite a lot, but.
Yeah, Kendrick often releases every 2 years, and was 17. So, but equally,
he did the Black Panther thing,
yeah.
So I would argue that was for a film.
But still, also he toured a lot, like I think more than usual.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he's been too busy. To be honest, to be honest, I think the longer you wait on the Kendrick album, the better it's going to be. So I'm not too mad if he doesn't. Schoolboy Q, he was meant to release last year, but I think
Asai Rashad was also meant to as well.
Yeah, when Mac Miller passed, I know Schoolboy Q kind of was like, "Nah, I'm taking some time off."
That's fair.
Yeah, so I think, but yeah, he recently posted, "Not depressed no more, gonna get back on top of things," or something like that. So I think his album should be coming up this year.
Just a question: have Reese Shremmen broken up?
I don't know, but they're doing a lot of solo.
Okay.
I think it's like there'll always be a thing, but they'll focus more on solo stuff at the moment. But I think you're always going to get.
In all fairness, if I was Sway Lee, that's what I'd do.
They are brothers though, so you know.
Like not to, but like Sway Lee has had a bang in 2018. And I think Jimmy really needs to like set himself aside. I don't dislike Jimmy, but like
he's just less versatile.
Yeah.
You know, he can't sing. Arguably, Sway Lee can't. Auto-tune saves the point.
Yeah.
I'd say like Sway Lee has probably had one of the best 2018s, if not like I don't know who else has done like around him. Can you think of who else did it? Like, so, like obviously Post Malone and Sway Lee had a great year. I'm talking just in terms of hip hop because this is like a rap.
I mean, if you're going. I mean, like Sway Lee's obviously become really mainstream, but in terms of just like growth, like although it's on a much smaller scale because they started off small, but like Denzel Curry with Taboo.
Yeah, that was.
I knew that.
Cloud Campaign got maybe like 50 million views, which for a Denzel Curry song is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna say blew up, but you guys heard of Thutmose? He's like kind of emerged this year. If you don't know who he is,
I don't know who that is. So.
Well, guess he hasn't had a great 2018, and I think maybe not. I'm just trying to think of like people who are quite new onto the.
I mean, Jid released.
Jid had a good year.
Yeah, he had a good year. There's been a bunch of good stuff.
I'd say most of the people who have released albums have had like a good year.
Kali Uchis had I mean, she was right at the start of 2018, but I think it was her debut album.
I'm not too sure who she is.
Like an R&B singer. She works with Tyler the Creator.
Is it Georgia Smith's had a quite well? I wouldn't say like she's blown up, but like I didn't know who she was last year, and she's done all right.
Yeah, she's always kind of been like slightly on the scene, like she was. Drake's playlist album. Oh, that's cool.
More life.
That's it. Yeah, but yeah, she actually released her debut album this year, and I think it's done pretty well. My mum loves it. I showed my mum it, and she won't stop. I mean, there's worse things to have on us, I think. So it's better than the Ariana Grande. She's just started. No disrespect to Ariana Grande, but like I hear "Thank You" next enough. It is on the. don't need my in the house as well.
Oh,
There it goes sometimes.
that's just the way life goes.
Post Malone was huge before the year, but you could argue he had
Yeah.
a massive year in terms of like stream.
Last 2
sales.
years for him have been really good.
Oh, great. I mean, he's only really been around for this.
Yeah,
Basically
One of the biggest artists in the world.
Well, he
It's crazy.
released Stoney in our year
Oh my
12. That was 2 years ago then. Yeah.
Yeah. Juice WRLD wasn't a thing before
Yeah.
2018.
I don't know how we forgot Juice WRLD.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of him. He's right to me, but like in terms of popularity, like I heard Lucid Dreams on the radio the other day. I think it's one of the top 3 selling songs of last year.
Yeah, I'm not,
Like,
not
entirely- yeah,
surprised.
definitely up there.
Crazy. A$AP Rocky had an unfortunate year because he decided to release his album on the same day Pusha T released Daytona.
Yeah,
Very, very
And
unfortunate.
I do question how much that would have affected his sales because I don't know, like in terms of like the Breakfast Club and all that. Like I saw a bunch of Pusha T interviews, but I didn't really see anything good for his.
yeah.
Bit off. Although I do like his most recent song, Sundress. It's very Tame Impala-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Tame Impala's releasing this year, I believe.
Yeah.
James Blake released today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I've
I'm
only
going to check James
given-
Blake out because I really like him.
Yeah, it's called Assume Form, but it's his debut. That's not a debut album, but like it's his first project in ages.
I remember because I absolutely shat on him when I realised that he was going to be supporting Kendrick when I saw him because I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? Then I listened to him and I was like, oh, it's not too bad. And in the live, it was very good.
He produced Element,
Yeah, yeah.
which is a great song. It's one of my favorite on the album, to be honest.
Mm,
Yeah, but he's got Metro Booming on 2 songs. He's
really?
got Travis Scott on 1. He's got Andre 3000 on another. I think there's one other feature that I don't know. I think.
Oh, right.
But yes, I gave it like a rough listen. I kind of had it on the background though, while I didn't really pay attention. But there were moments where I was like, oh, like kind of caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I need to give that another listen. But
Yeah.
he's an odd one, James Blake, because he's kind of like
yeah, I do
in the
agree.
hip hop scene, but is like a British male singer.
Well, there's
You know
a
what I
lot
mean?
of people
Kind
who are
of
like
odd.
that. Who are just like kind
Kind
of
of,
weird.
He's a real kind of odd. Yeah, he's a bit of an odd one.
Right. I'm only conscious of time because we've been going on for about an hour, almost an hour 20.
Okay.
The time has
yeah, we can round it
absolutely
off.
flown, but I
Why
think
not?
we could round it off. Yeah, so this has been the first episode of the Intolerable podcast. Expect an episode or 2 coming out soon. We'll probably establish some kind of schedule just as we go. We just see how it goes from here on out. Yeah, so thank you very much for listening. It's been Will, Dexter,
If you
and
did, this might get no
If you
views
did.
For
at
the
all.
2 people watching, thank you very much.
yes,
Yeah,
wonderful.
put your names in the comments if you get this far, and
Yeah,
we'll
if
mention
you
in the next episode.
were able to tolerate,
Yeah, we'll
this
shout you out in the
for
next
however
episode
long,
if you can
You can
intolerate.
in the comments.
If you can
Great.
tolerate the
Yeah.
Intolerable podcast, that is.
Yeah,
So it's been me, Will,
remember your own name.
Dexter. Brilliant, thank you. We're starting and closing this podcast off so professionally. It's been Will, Sam, and Dexter. We've been the Intolerable
Don't choke
podcast,
up. Don't choke up.
and we will see you
Come
on.
on.
the next one. Goodbye.
Right.
Check out the
au revoir.
Hobbly diss track on DG Games.
Fucking you. Fuck you.